It's the What Are You Driven By podcast, where we dive deep to see what motivates and drives our community's best leaders. Welcome back to the What Are You Driven By podcast, where we discover what drives our community's best leaders and how they engage their teams and achieve their potential. I'm your host, Diondra Filicetti, the author of the book Engagement Economics and a professional speaker and trainer. And today I'm joined by two special guests. I have Sarah Syed and Mohammad Ali. Sarah has always believed that stories connect people in many ways, and that belief led her to where she is today. As a conference producer, she has the joy of bringing ideas, industries, and individuals together through cross-industry summits in Canada. Muhammad Ali is an artist at heart and a strategist by craft. He founded PART to help brands turn creativity into connection and audiences into communities. You're going to be really excited to hear from the both of them. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Sarah, to introduce yourself.
Sure. So I am a content producer, as you all know, and I'm employed by Strategy Institute. It's an event production company. We produce multiple conferences, but I had CX portfolio of events. And along with that, there are certain standalone events like Foundation Endowment, Non-for-Profit Investment Summit, and Employee Experience Summit. These days, I'm also doing pharma supply chain event. So there are multiple events that I produce, but yeah, the one that is very close to my heart is customer experience. Because as I mentioned that I like storytelling, it resonates a lot with people, and the delegates, they're always happy to walk away with certain key takeaways. So that's about it for me.
Wow. You know what? I am so curious about what you do, and I can't wait to dive into this conversation and really understand, what goes into that and what really drives you. But before that, let's have Mohammed introduce himself.
Sure.
Yeah, so guys, this is Muhammad Ali, and by heart, I'm an artist, and have been working in art industry for a long time now. With it, also I'm a marketer, a brand strategist. So I have always been like working in the branding and advertising industry, uh, but since there always is a love for art, I've been doing painting, but there always been a problem that creatives always wanted something at like even when I was doing art, always had a struggle to sell my thing, and there was a gap I saw that how to connect art with normal people like layman. So what I saw there, the absence was that people were like they were interested in art, but what they saw actually was just a piece of it. They were not experiencing it. So what happened? I created an organization by the name of Part, where people can come collaborate with artists. They can create their own music, jamming with renowned artists, musicians. They can paint. They can work with their favorite painters, make their own designer shirts, clothings. They can also do different kind of like they can do improvs, be a part of any kind of acting, theater. So this is what these are the things what we are doing now. So we are collaborating art with normal people, and now we are weaving that with brands, since they're always art is always been a part of culture. So what's the best way to connect brands with, because they always want sales. So the thing that was missing, we wanted to connect brands with. Now we are doing that by connecting brands with the artists. So brands has money, artists needed money, and also they wanted to perform through art. So we like brand story connecting with art, like big sales for people. So this is what we are doing now.
Wow. I think that's a really great point. Art has is a big part of culture and life. And, you're able to connect those two together. And Sarah, with the conference production, these are very fascinating roles that you guys have chosen. And so I want to know, what drew you to do this? Where did you begin? And how did you get to where you are now? Sarah, did you want to start?
Oh, sure. So by nature, I have been very creative all the time. I know I went into computer science, but that was like kind of a wrong turn, you can say. But I was creative, so I always liked storytelling. So I started writing. I wrote a book, and I did content creation for on-site media here, where I was actually interviewing business entrepreneurs. And that was the time when COVID hit, and they were all very busy moving towards digitization and everything. And everybody was kind of resonating with everyone. And there I started thinking that there should be a group. I mean, it was like one-on-one conversation. So instead, there should be like a group of people where they can resonate with each other, if not all, but some parts of the story could be resonated. And they can then take away some executable strategies and how they can start their own startup, how they can go about it. So that's how, and I started going to conferences. So when I joined this strategy institute, I thought this is my calling.
Not many people can say that they find their calling. And
Yeah.
so, that ability to tell stories and connect people is fundamental to what a conference is, right? You go to a conference and you meet all kinds of interesting people, share your stories, learn something, and you walk away feeling so incredible.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And especially when I talk about customer experience, it is all from different walks of life. Like what fascinates me most here is that despite of living in such an AI tech world, people are still longing for human connection. And that is where customer experience jumps in. So I think this is a great portfolio that we work with, and again the same like brands connecting with, as Ali mentioned, that they want to connect with the art. Here we are connecting AI with human. So that's what drew me in.
I love that. And then at some point your path has crossed with Muhammad or Ali's. And Ali, like, what led you to where you are today?
I saw there was a problem, like people, they love art, they want to connect with art, but what they only saw was the end product. What they didn't know, maybe you see a painting, you it's really beautiful, but what makes it more interesting when you hear the story of it, when you get to know about the artist, when you get to know what paint the artist has applied on the painting, what meaning does it has. Every color has a meaning, every tone, every symbol has a meaning. So when uh, normal people who are not artists, when they are actually viewing it from the viewer's perspective, they don't know. And what they're actually missing the complete uh, deep down, and the complete mountain which is underneath the ground. So that was missing. So what I felt, why not connect these two worlds together and curate something which was needed.
I absolutely love that. And so now the two of you with these backgrounds and the ability to bring stories to the forefront, what is it that you guys are doing together that has made you guys cross paths?
I can go first here. Okay. So yeah, I was in Pakistan. We met because we were doing a skit together. He was my co-actor, and after all that, we were just sitting and discussing what we do. And when I told him that I do this conference production, and he mentioned that he does event planning, and there we thought it's kind of same thing. It's just that mine is a little bit more towards corporate level, whereas his is brand performances. And we thought we should bring together something. And I saw he's a very nice artist, like painter. I saw the paintings and everything. And I thought, like, why not we have like a fusion of these things? And especially like our country, Pakistan, we always say that going through an identity crisis, so why not represent its culture? That now it is a separate standalone country. We need to represent its culture. So if we bring together like the cultural brands, songs, music, art, and then merge it with the speaking engagement as well, how about that? So we were just discussing. It is not executed yet, but we are just thinking to execute something like that.
Wow. Okay, so this leads me to a really interesting point. And, I've attended several conferences and, this is my world, the speaking world. And, I love them. And what's unique is what I'm hearing about what you do, Mohammed, sketches and brand sketches. I think that's something so unique and so new, and it's not something that's so typical here in Canada, where brands are sponsoring these skits and sketches. So can you tell us a little bit more about that, Mohammed?
So what
Yeah.
happens is that we understand when we connect with the brand or brand comes to us, brand tell us about what kind of target audience they have, what kind of product they have. Then we create their brand strategy. So when I say strategy, that means I need to understand their voice, their tone. Either they have it, or if they don't have it, we create it. So we create their voice, their tone, what kind of language will they be communicating with, colors, theme, their target audience, with the product they have, what is their niche. Then when that is done, then we connect the artist and we give them the strategy, that this is the strategy. Now you have to create, based on this, what art piece would you want to create. Then we put that up, maybe on social media platform, advertising. If they want to do some guerrilla marketing, here we say BTL activation, below the line activation. Over there, I think you call it guerrilla marketing. So where you go on streets, do marketing, but you at the end of the skit you realize, oh, that was something which was connected with the brand. So this is how we do.
You're coming from two different worlds, but there's so many similarities. But for our listeners, I wonder, so Sarah, this is a question for you in terms of conference planning. What does that look like on a day-to-day basis for you? What does your world in conference planning look like?
I have to manage two personalities. Like I have to be very introvert while I'm doing my own research, my own agenda, session, documentation, who the speakers would be, who the sponsors would be. I have to be completely on my own and work around the things. And then there comes an extrovert personality where we have to schedule call meeting and create the whole vibe, where we have to we have to make it so exciting that people are ready to come in and speak at the event. And also for the sponsors to come and make it so exciting to sponsor the event. And then, of course, for the delegates to come and attend the event. Why is it so important for them to attend as well? So my day to day is like kind of during the day, I'm usually on my meetings, calls, scheduling calls. And by the time it's evening, I take out like an hour or two and do my own work, my own documentation, responding to emails. So until the event is done, I keep doing that, keep inviting
Wow.
speakers. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And, there's a lot of time spent in research and the strategy behind the conference. And then it's the event planning portion of it, and where you're talking to speakers and you're like you mentioned, trying to figure out what the vibe is going to be. And I think carefully selecting speakers and carefully selecting certain aspects about the event will really shape the
Yeah.
experience of the clients.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's like we have the agenda, but we call it a raw draft of the agenda. Sometimes it's the speaker, they say that, oh, we are doing this. It's like our brand new startup. And it's like a whole new story. So we add that into the agenda to make it more enhanced version of it. So it's like, you can say a continuous learning while scheduling calls. So it's a continuous research work until
Yeah.
now.
Wow. And then for you, Mohammed, it's, the balance of the artwork side of things, but then also the brand side of things. Can you share a little bit more about maybe something that we might know about that industry, something that we might underestimate?
It's really interesting. Like every day you are getting a vision of a brand, you're giving it to the artist, which is like famous in their niche, the people they're following. Then they are curating a new kind of event, maybe an activation, marketing activity, or then connecting them with the brand. What is different is that never it was seen in this way. There always was a problem because artists has a problem to sell their work. Even if you see famous celebrities, famous artists, famous actors, they always have a marketing manager or some person who is selling their skills. They cannot, most of them cannot do it themselves because they're focused on their art. What is interesting for me is that I could bridge the gap between these two worlds,
Mhm.
and now every day when I see my artists like happy, they're getting the money, they're getting what they were actually not getting before, and getting the money for what they actually are loving to do every day. That was a different perspective for me also, and maybe for the people who are listening. Yeah, there always is a new way to do things.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely. And I have a follow-up now for both of you. And I'm just curious, I want to know what is your favorite, what was your favorite event or conference that you've ever worked on? So we can start with Sarah. What's been your favorite conference and why?
So mostly when the conference is really successful, I'm very happy at the end. But one of the conference, I think it was 2022. So the president, Bill Manning, he's a president of Toronto Argonauts MLSE. He was there, and it was very timely because just a day before they won the game. And when he entered the room, everyone was clapping and congratulating. So it kind of, you can say, it stood out amongst many other conferences, and people were really it looked like there's some celebrity in, and you're all longing to see him and shaking hands and everything. So it just created a hype, and it was a conference like everyone remembers now that, oh, there was MLSE, NFL over there. Usually I have sports panel, but this
Mm.
especially this conference stood out among so many. So I
Wow.
remember, and I am really like, oh, I should call or invite these kind of different speakers as well, and then they can tell the story how they feel like after winning the game, and also talk about like fan experience in a customer experience conference.
100%. That's so cool. Have you met other celebrities in the work that you do?
Not celebrities, I would say, but like for example, I have invited, like in my upcoming conference, like vice president of employee experience from Dolce and Gabbana. Sometimes people laugh at me that you're always looking forward to these brands, but sometimes these brands, they need to tell us the stories what they have been doing in all these years. And also I don't agree to the point that it should be all about big people. It should always be, you can say, a mix or a blend of both, because like when there's a startup, these are the people who can actually tell you how they got their hands dirty in the business. So I think the people need both visions, and so I try to keep a blend of these two. But yeah, it sometimes it matters a lot when we have got big names. So I, you can say like big names like Tim Hortons vice president, Chanel vice president, yes, but not like a celebrity.
Ah, yeah.
Maybe sometime I'll invite some Hollywood actor in my
Let me
conference.
know. Let me know
Yes,
about
for
those ones,
sure.
okay?
Sure.
But yeah, I totally agree because I actually attended a conference once where it was mostly celebrity speakers or really high level speakers. And what I did notice, like you're saying, without the startup founders, I had a hard time relating to the celebrities because I'm
Exactly.
like,
Absolutely. The whole point is resonating, storytelling. So, yeah, sometimes people are there to learn. So, we need big names to attract people also. And we need these, you can say, mid sized to small size brand to educate people.
Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. You heard it here first.
Mhm.
And Mohammed, okay, what is your favorite part, or what has been your favorite event that you've done in the past?
Let me tell you about a recent event we did with there was a thrift store, and they were having problem with their sales. And it's usually thrift stores are not really expensive. They're like for people, for middle class people. So what we did, we created an event which was connected with the street dancers who actually can do hip hop dance and these kind of stuff. Those the ones who wear these shoes. So they came over there, and people love dance. So they had a complete jamming session of dance, and everyone who attended that this event, they loved it so much. They kept on having it for 3 more weeks, and that their studio became like one of the uh, places where dancers and people from who love art can actually come and join. And the best part is their sales increased by 28% in just 1 month.
Wow. That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that was growing more impressive as he continued, right? Because at first I'm like, wow, that would be really cool to have dancers, right? And see this come to life. I love watching dance and I love dance, so that would be really cool. And then to see that a brand increased its sales by 28%, that's awesome. So
And especially a thrift store. So I think that is even more amazing.
absolutely, absolutely. So it sounds like, the two of you have some synergy and passion around and a really deep strategy around what you do. And so I have the inside scoop that, there's something coming up where you guys are planning something. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to share a little bit more and get the audience excited about, what you might have coming up.
So we were actually planning first thing that we will bring together this first our country's culture, and we will have the performers, and those brands can sponsor the event where those performers can wear all these brands, either it's like clothing, jewelry, shoes, whatever, accessories. And so performers can perform maybe, and we can make it more interesting. This was basically Ali's idea, and I was just thinking in between we can have like some speaking engagement where the brands can tell their story, maybe the audience can relate to it. This is what we were thinking initially to start with, and then we can bring in different cultures.
Yeah,
So as Ali has this already founded this thing called part, and so to grow it from across Pakistan to Canada, North America, and see where it goes.
absolutely. Do we have any ideas on when we might see this event?
Oh, this is a good question. Maybe maybe it will take a while, a year or so, but Ali can be a good person to answer this question.
No worries, you don't have to have a date right now, but it's coming and we'll be able to look out for it. So, my next question is more on the challenges. So, what are the most difficult or challenging parts of what you both do? So, Sarah, for you on the conference production side, what would you say is most challenging or stressful?
Most stressful is managing the speakers' dropouts. Like sometimes they drop out at the very last minute, life happens, and like they say that, oh, this family emergency came up, or I cannot travel. So and of course, we cannot have like substitute speakers to let them know that, oh, if they don't come, you come. We cannot do that. So there is no standby speaker. So we need to quickly fix the agenda, see what can we do, or we invite quickly the speakers, maybe like the past speakers who can be our supported partners in all our events. Sometimes we have to jump in, let the host know, and to fill in the gap with any activity like a roundtable or a speed networking, any session. So that is the most stressful part, but we have been able to handle it since years.
Wow. Well, yeah, you know what? I can imagine. And you're right. Life happens. So
Yeah.
you never know what could happen. And so I wonder if you're in that situation, do you have like a roster of speakers that you can go and look at and be like, okay, we know that these people speak about these topics. Maybe we can reach out to these people. That way you don't have to sit there and research at
Oh,
the
yeah.
last minute.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I always reach out to my past speakers that, oh, this has happened and this was a prime slot. Maybe you can come and fill in. And if they are available, they do. And
Okay,
that's
good.
why I keep a good relationship with my past speakers as well. It's
Uh-huh.
all about customer experience.
See, yeah, there's where customer experience comes in and building those relationships. And then it'll help save the day when you're in a
Yeah,
difficult situation.
absolutely. Yes, yes,
Excellent.
absolutely.
Wow. Okay, and Mohammed, what is the most difficult or stressful part of what you do?
I would say, in technical terms, that would be related to space most of the times. Like if we are doing some kind of event, so sometimes to curate certain type of events, we have to have certain type of space. So searching that, hunting for those kind of
Mhm.
spaces, so there that is a sometimes challenging.
I can
So this
imagine. It sounds like depending on the type of art or whether it's dance or art, you would need different types of spaces.
Yeah.
yes.
I can imagine. Yeah, that can be challenging. I think in my past, sometimes you have to host like a family event or, a get together, and then looking for event spaces is stressful.
Yeah, and especially like knowing the head count, what would be the head count, how much can we accommodate. So I think, yes, it's always, even when I am producing the conference, I'm always asking my event management team, is the space finalized? Is the venue finalized or not? Because we have also have to see sometimes if like the speakers mostly are in downtown Toronto, it should be easy for them. Or if it shouldn't be very far from the airport where they're staying. So yes, confirming venue is always stressful too. Absolutely.
In those moments when you're looking and trying to put together an event, for you as the event and conference producers, there's so much involved. But then as the attendee, you come in and it seems like this seamless experience and you don't really notice or are aware of all that's gone in to put this together for you.
Yes, absolutely. Because sometimes when the attendees they come and say, "Oh, this was so seamless experience for us. It was so frictionless for us," and I know what all happened in the background. There's so many moving parts all the time, and this is why I always say like the conferences never ends until it actually ends, because like they say that, oh, the speakers are logged in, the sponsors are logged in, this is the venue, it's good to go. But I say no, until the conference is done, it's not done.
Mhm.
So yeah, absolutely. There's so many things going on in the background that people who are attending do not know. But then of course they pay for a seamless experience
Exactly, exactly. And that's
to make
that's where
sure.
your job comes in.
Exactly.
Now, both of you have a wealth of experience in both of your industries. It's similar, event planning and conference planning, similar, but not exactly the same. So, if you could give some advice to your younger self when you were just starting out in the industry, or someone else who's starting out in the industry, Sarah, for you, what would be your advice for someone who's just starting out in conference planning?
I would say keep finding yourself. There is no end to it because initially I always thought that, oh, I want to become a speaker. Then I always thought, no, I think I am a better writer, so I'll write. And then I thought, no, I have to bring people together and relate their stories to each other. So, and I think still at this age and stage, I don't know what am I going to do in another 5 or 10 years, maybe in the same line, but keep finding and keep evolving. I think that's very important. Once you get stuck in one place or in a comfort zone, that's the end of it. So don't do that.
I think that's great advice. And I love how vulnerable and you've been able to share your experience and how your focus went from speaking to writing to connection, and you're ever evolving as a person in that space and in your career. So I think that's fantastic advice. Mohammed, what would be your advice for someone just starting out in event planning?
Yeah, my advice to my younger self would be, uh, do not follow anyone, because what they will tell you maybe is their point of view, their experience. But what you will learn is from your perspective, your view, and what you will learn is from your experience. So don't follow trends. Yeah, maybe that's good if you want to be like everyone, but be creative, keep innovating, do what you love. Don't follow something like some hack. Don't do that, because that way maybe you will be successful, but you won't be able to create a new way for everyone else. So that would be my advice for myself, my younger self.
I love that. Don't we wish we could hear that? We could go back in time and hear that advice, right?
Absolutely. I would never have chosen computer science if I,
Right.
yeah, if I were younger self back then, I would never do that.
I know. There's so many things I would have done differently too, but now that we know for our future, we can make those changes. So switching gears to talk about our future and what who you are as people. My next question is, what are you driven by? This is a question we ask everyone on the podcast. And so Sarah, we want to know, what are you driven by? What's your why?
Um, so I can say, like, not in a very strong term, but I can say, like, building a legacy. For example, I mean, I'm saying that, yeah, this is storytelling. Some people are coming and telling the story. But then through this, again, as we move forward, like we were planning to do these cultural events representing culture. But then also there are certain problems that are in our country, and then what to do about them. Probably like women facing certain issues, men facing certain issues. So, what to do about them in a longer run? This is something probably I think at the end, like maybe there's some foundation where people can come and they can invest and discuss or learn skills with whatever. Because like for example, I couldn't learn so many things in my younger years. There was no such thing as counseling at that time. So maybe we have like different counselors in that foundation. Maybe we have people with different skill set who can teach them, people who cannot afford. So in a very, like you can say, a long term, like building a legacy is something that keeps me up at night as well.
Wow. I think legacy is such a beautiful word because it speaks to the fact that we want to make this world better for the people who come after us. And, the fact that you recognize some of the things that would have helped you when you were younger and wanting to create that and put that in place and change someone else's life is a beautiful thing. Thank you for sharing that. And Mohammed, what are you driven by?
So maybe by now you might know what I'm driven by. Being an artist, looking at my fellows, my artists, and seeing they're doing what they love and creating a new day for themselves, doing their best, what they're good at. So, so when I see these people, are doing what they're loving. So that makes me happy every day. I enjoy that. And when people connect with me, saying you changed my life, because just by doing connecting me with somebody and helping, so both ways, I see that sales going up, people loving what they're doing. So every day it's like a blessing for me.
Wow. I see the theme here, you know, changing lives, and Mohammed, it sounds like you're empowering people to embrace their creative side and to do what they love and creating the space and the place for those people to do that. I think that's also a beautiful thing. This has been, you know, such a wonderful conversation, and I've learned so much about both of you and the behind the scenes of the conference planning world and the behind the scenes of event planning, and you know, all that's involved. That's what these conversations are all about, to learn and share with one another. And so for those that are listening that are interested in learning more and getting connected with you and learning about the events that are coming up, where can they find you?
Oh, they can find me on LinkedIn by the name Sarah Sayed. Also, I know I'm kind of old fashioned, so I'm still using Facebook. That is also Sarah Sayed. And sarahsayed.313 is my Instagram handle, which I don't use much, but yeah, they can find me there. Yeah.
Excellent.
Usually, I think LinkedIn is the best.
Okay, LinkedIn is the best for Sarah.
Absolutely, yes.
And Mohammed, how about yourself? Where can our listeners find you?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn, by Muhammad Ali, brand strategist. Also, you can find me on Instagram, by the name of M underscore Ali, ALI underscore LI. So this is my Instagram. And also there's my Instagram page for part, which is PART underscore P8.
Thank you so much. So now you know where you can find both Sarah and Mohammed. So if you have further questions or want to get connected, please do. And for those listening, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the What Are You Driven By podcast. It's been a fabulous conversation with our two guests today, and we hope that you'll join us next time for another incredible story. So make sure you subscribe and connect with us online at Driven by Co. Till then, stay driven.